She is speaking in soft, sweet, training words, and she's speaking very slowly.
Okay.
Look what he gives us in that one line. Soft, sweet, training words, slowly she spoke. There are 4 alliterations there. Soft, sweet, slowly spoke.
Yes.
It's extraordinary when you begin to look at one line and see what she's lifting this mild ray of her patient gaze. So she's lifting it up to speak softly and sweet in these training words to tell Savitri who she is, what aspect she is of Savitri.
Okay.
And now we begin.
O Savitri, I am thy secret soul. To share the suffering of the world I came. I draw my children's pangs into my breast. I am the nurse of the...
Yeah, but there was a period after breast.
Right. So I have to pause.
Yeah, slight, yes.
Okay. Okay.
You know, it'll all come back to you in time.
Yes. It's been a while.
Don't be concerned about it, but
Okay.
it's important that we are as accurate as we can be. Okay.
O Savitri, I am thy secret soul. To share the suffering of the world I came. I draw my children's pangs into my breast.
But you said, to share the suffering of the world I came. No,
I came, right.
Share the suffering of the world I came.
O Savitri, I am thy secret soul. To share the suffering of the world I came. I draw my children's pangs into my breast. I am the nurse of the dolor beneath the stars. I am the soul of all who wailing writhe under the ruthless harrow of the gods.
Not to talk about here, huh? What is dolor? Dolor.
Dolor?
It is sorrow.
All the sorrow and suffering and
sorrow
the dubious.
Basically sorrow.
Basically sorrow, suffering.
And grief. Grief. Then the next line, she is the soul of all who wailing. Wailing.
Crying like.
Yes, intense weeping. Writhe. Writhe, something that is writhen, is twisted or contorted. And so if you can think of some of the Hieronymus Bosch's paintings, you can see these souls who writhe, twisted in pain. And
can we say like writhe? Churning? Can churning be writhe? No.
No, writhe is more contorted and twisted in pain. In pain, twisted and contorted in pain. Under the ruthless harrow of the gods. This is very interesting because ruthless means merciless, having no compassion. No compassion or pity. But a harrow is an interesting thing. A harrow, and I have used them before, is a farm implement which has a heavy frame with either sharp teeth or upright discs. So it can be the sharp teeth or upright disc, and it breaks up and it evens off ground that is plowed. So they used to use a plow to dig up the ground after planting.
Narad, the tiller we used.
Yeah, well, it's actually, I'm talking about agriculture now, not horticulture.
Okay.
And then they found out that they were making a great mistake. When they plowed the soil, they brought up a different layer and they ruined the microbiological soil composition at the top. So you can understand now, you've got this plow that's digging about, maybe 1.5 feet deep, and it's turning that soil over. Now they don't use a plow anymore. They use a harrow. A harrow, or a disc harrow, it's often called. And what they do, let's say after they harvest the wheat or the oats or anything like that, the stubs that are left on the ground are broken up by this harrow and allowed to rot in the ground and provide nutrients for the next crop. They used to burn this stuff. So you see this, Sri Aurobindo is using this ruthless harrow that seems to be a disc that's just chopping up the souls of all these people who are intensely wailing and writhing. Wow, I mean, it's so powerful. Now we go to another page now?
Yes. I am woman, nurse and slave and beaten beast. I tend the hands that gave me cruel blows. The hearts that...
See, there was a full stop there again. First you had a semicolon, and then you have a full stop. So it is, I am woman, nurse, and slave, and beaten beast.
I think what's happening is, like, for the first time, I think in this canto, Sri Aurobindo is using full stops sooner than he usually does.
Well, she's speaking to Savitri, and she is what she is doing here is she is laying out the aspect of this Madonna to Savitri. And so there's a lot here. There's still many things that I have to speak about. So why don't you read again and read to Angel of the House.
I am woman, nurse and slave and beaten beast. I tend the hands that gave me cruel blows.
Yeah, but you see, you said, I am woman, nurse and slave and beaten beast. No, and beaten beast. She's a beaten beast. And even through that, she is tending, that means taking care of, the hands that gave me cruel blows. Wow. And now we're going to see more that happens here. The hearts that spurned my love and zeal, I serve. She serves them all. Now, spurned is an interesting word. Spurned means scorned or rejected.
Rejected.
Or contemptuously or disdainfully. So when we spurn something, we reject it. We just scorn it, say, this is useless. And they spurned her love, these hearts. Now, zeal, of course, is always passion or enthusiasm.
I am the courted queen, the pampered doll. I am the giver of the bowl of rice. I am the worshipped angel of the house.
Well, a lot, you see, we have to go so slow through this because and there are not many lines, but they're packed with meaning. First of all, what is a courted queen?
Courted queen? I mean, I don't know.
It's a queen whom people want to gain her favor or her affections or her love. But she's also the pampered doll. And what does pampered mean here? It means treated with excessive indulgence. So we see that she's a beaten beast, she's a slave, she's a nurse, she tends hands that give her these cruel blows. She serves with love and zeal the hearts that spurn her. And yet she is the courted queen, and she's pampered doll. And yet she still is the giver of the bowl of rice. I am the worshipped angel of the house. The angel of the house, capitalized, is the guardian spirit of the home.
Guardian spirit of?
Of our home, of one's home. It's a very important statement. Why, I mean, Sri Aurobindo capitalizes it here because it's so important. She is the worshipped angel of the house. She's the giver of the bowl of rice. She's the courted queen. She's the pampered doll. And yet, she's a beaten beast. And she tends these hands that give her the cruel blows. She serves with love and zeal the hearts that spurned her. So you see this duality here that's coming in. If you can understand, go back a little bit, we could say that very often this has been the unfortunate position of women.
Yes.
They're the courted queens. Yeah, they're the angel of the house. They're the giver of the bowl of rice. And yet, they're beaten beast. They receive cruel blows. Their love is spurned.
Yeah.
Because of the male ego.
Yes.
All right, let's continue on a little bit more. I know this takes a lot of time, so I don't want to go too long. We'll do another 6, 7 lines.
There is, an aphorism of Sri Aurobindo where he talks about
aphorism,
thoughts and aphorism.
Good.
So there's an aphorism of Sri Aurobindo where he says that I didn't know much about love. I mean, he says something like, I didn't know much about love until I became a woman and loved.
See?
Yeah. I'll share that aphorism with you. It's so beautiful. But I did send you one aphorism, right? On love.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay, we'll carry on now.
I am in all that suffers and that cries. Mine is the prayer that climbs in vain from earth. I am traversed by my creature's agonies. I am the spirit in a world of pain.
So again, now we're seeing the other aspects.
Right.
Not only is she the giver of the bowl of rice, she the one who cooks, obviously, right? And the courted queen and the pampered doll and the angel of the house. but she's still in everything that suffers and cries.
Right.
And hers is the prayer. Now, this is very important, that climbs in vain from earth. Why is it climbing in vain from earth?
Because no one is attending to her suffering, something like that.
No, she's talking about her prayer.
That climbs in vain from earth. Mine is the prayer.
Because she is not fully whole yet. Savitri has to bring her something to.
Right. It is her prayer.
Yes, exactly. This is why we have to go so slow. I am traversed by my creature's agonies. If someone traverses someplace, one crosses over it, or through it, or moves over it. I traversed a great mountain lately, or I traversed the desert from some place to someplace else. I went through it. I crossed over it. So she is traversed by the agonies of her creatures. My creatures, no, she says, huh? My creatures' agonies. And she is still the spirit in a world of pain. Now, let's do the last 3 lines, and then I'd like you to read the whole thing again.
Okay. The scream of tortured flesh and tortured hearts, fallen back on heart and flesh unheard by heaven, has rent with helpless grief and wrath my soul.
Quite a few things here. You can't really say fallen, because that's 2 syllables. It's fallen. 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 If you put the E in there, it makes it 2 beats.
Okay.
And it can only be 1 beat to be iambic pentameter.
Right. So can you read the whole line?
Would I read it? Yes. Fallen back on heart and flesh, unheard by heaven.
Fallen. Can you say that word?
Fallen.
Fallen.
Yes, Faln. Fallen. Fallen.
Fallen back on heart and flesh, unheard by heaven.
Yes, but now you have to make me feel that it's unheard by heaven. Okay, go ahead. Fallen back.
Fallen back on heart and flesh, unheard by heaven.
No. Fallen back on heart and flesh, unheard by heaven, has rent with helpless grief and wrath my soul. If you want to, I listened for a few minutes the other day to my reading of the first canto of Book 1 of Savitri. Have you ever heard it? You'll have to go to the website Savitri the Poem, and you'll have it there. I never had my voice better than that. And this is what we have to do. We have to make our voice so perfect.
Yeah.
With exactly the right inflections. And at the same time, we have to learn definitions of words. What is something that is rent? What is something that is rent?
Where is the word? Okay. Has rent with helpless.
Very simple
Has
definition.
rent.
Torn.
Torn. Yeah. Torn.
Now, It's torn with helpless grief, but then also wrath. And what has it torn? It's torn her soul. Wrath is, of course, fierce anger or resentful indignation. I am the spirit in a world of pain. The scream of tortured flesh and tortured hearts, fallen back on heart and flesh, unheard by heaven, has rent with helpless grief and wrath my soul. See how she's speaking to Savitri? Now, this is not over. There's a lot more to come. She's really pouring out all herself on Savitri. And she's going to tell why she hasn't been able to do anything. And Savitri is going to give her the answer. But after Savitri gives her that answer, then this voice from below comes up. I mean, this is the most extraordinary canto, these triple soul forces. So please read from the beginning now.
Okay.
Make me feel it. Now, as an actress, you have to feel where the words should be inflected. You can't simply read something in an iambic pentameter, or the person listening would fall asleep.
Right.
I tend the hands that gave cruel blows, the hearts that spurned my love and zeal I spurn. It's me. You got it. Good. All right. So, now you have to be a humble actress.
Humble actress.
And convey the meaning to me.
Okay. O Savitri, I am thy secret soul. To share the suffering of the world I came.
I'm not looking at that, but isn't there a period after soul?
Right, there is.
No, you missed it.
I missed it. Yeah. Okay, I'm reading.
Full stop.
Right.
Then she's going to say other things, but you have to see, why did she say, "O Savitri, I am thy secret soul"? Full stop. Then she'll go on. Okay.
O Savitri, I am thy secret soul. To share the suffering of the world I came. I draw my children's pangs into my breast. I am the nurse of the dolor beneath the stars. I am the soul of all who wailing writhe under the ruthless harrow of the gods. I am woman, nurse and slave and beaten beast. I tend the hands that gave me cruel blows. The hearts that spurned my love and zeal I serve. I am the courted queen, the pampered doll. I am the giver of the bowl of rice. I am the worshipped angel of the house. I am in all that suffers and that cries. Mine is the prayer that climbs in vain from earth. I am traversed by my creature's agonies. I am the spirit in a world of pain. The scream of tortured flesh and tortured hearts, fallen back on heart and flesh unheard by heaven, has rent with helpless grief and wrath my soul.
Oh, much, much better reading, you see. I think you brought it now. You caught it a bit.
Yes, a little bit. I felt it a little bit, yeah.
Yes. One last thing before I go. Look at how many I ams. I
Yes,
am
I
woman.
am.
I am the
One,
court
two,
queen. I am the giver. I am the worshipped. I am in all. I am the spirit. I
seven.
I am. You see how Sri Aurobindo is pounding that home to us, what this Madonna is.
Yeah,
So it's been a good half hour, and we didn't cover much, but we have to
yeah.
go that slowly. Huh?
Narad, like since you have been, like reading Savitri at such a young age, and you at some point, like, do you start like experiencing all of these things within you? Like they feel familiar at some point of time? Being through the path and the yoga and life and everything, I feel somewhere, do you feel like I know what
I wouldn't
Sri
say
Aurobindo is
familiar.
saying?
I wouldn't say familiar, but I begin to understand.
Understand.
I would use that word rather than familiar.
Familiar.
I begin to understand in a very deep way what Sri Aurobindo is sharing with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
why
you you read everything with a very objective way, or like there is some subjectivity also that is coming through when you're reading Savitri? Anything subjective happening there, or it's not there at all? You try to not be subjective when you're reading Savitri.
well, I can't say that really, because if I'm feeling something, I'm feeling this Madonna, then I have to express what she is feeling.
Yes.
At a moment that she is me.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
It's not
Because sometimes, like, there are certain words that he uses, and I just identify to those words, like the pampered doll. Something that I resonate at a personal level, not the whole line, maybe, but the word pampered doll, or something like,
see, mothers always pamper their children.
yes.
Almost always. I mean, good mothers,
Oh, yes,
good
yes,
pamper
yes.
their children. Often too much.
Mm-mm.
So pampering carries that feeling within it. And so we can't just say, I am the pampered doll. No, no, no. I am the pampered doll. You see, pamper becomes very important, that word.
Yes, I am the pampered doll.
And courted queen. See,
Mm-hmm.
people want to court someone because they want to get privileges, they want to get recognition, they want to get love. So they court someone for that. And we often hear that people, I courted this girl for years and she never responded.
She never responded.
You see, that's the idea of courted. Or I courted her and won.
Yeah. But as I'm reading the the other lines, I'm realizing like Sri Aurobindo, then he'll uplift you into his word. Like, if there are times like you are identifying and you're relating, but then he will take you to a certain place where like, okay, now like you enter it differently, then you see the whole picture, and then that sense of subjectivity and identifying to every little thing goes.
I don't know if I can agree with that, but
What? How would you
if
say?
I'm reading this triple soul forces, if I dare to read them or record them, I have to be them.
Right.
This is the greatest sense of acting also. You have to become what you are acting in that moment. Then you can take off your shirt afterwards after the play is over and be what you are. But you see, this is even more critical in Savitri, because we're not just talking about ordinary people here. We're talking about
Madonnas. We are talking about Madonnas.
and the evolution of the
Evolution
world.
of the world.
Read the passage again before you go to sleep.
I will. I will read the whole thing from beginning to end, and I will contemplate on it. And yeah. Namaste.